Derry was planted or laid out between 1610 and 1618 as one of a number of towns within the plantation of Ulster. From the air we can clearly see the 17th century town, built where nothing existed before, save the remains of Saint Columbus Monastery, founded here in 546, and the crumbling remains of an English garrison of 1600. For this is what makes plantation towns different from other towns. They are laid out afresh, and the plans on a drawing may be laid out on the ground without having to take account of existing streets and buildings. New towns of this kind are nearly always characterized by rectangularity. Either the town was laid out along a main street, or, more usually, a grid of streets and building plots were laid out along the lines of Roman towns 1,000 years before. Derry was laid out on a grid pattern. This original core of Derry may still be seen, and is best seen from the air. Although the city has spread far beyond the walls, the planted town remains intact in plan, though of course the original buildings have disappeared. The Anglo-Normans did not develop Old Ross, a small ecclesiastical settlement of no strategic importance. Instead, they built New Ross, at an important point in the Barrow estuary, a town which was to become one of the most important ports of medieval Ireland. Here we can still see the ruins of the chancel and transepts of the parish church of the new town of Ross, with its early 13th century Gothic stonework. Also we can see the line of the town wall, with a few fragments of the walls themselves. Even the break for one of the gates leading out to Irish Town, an Irish settlement outside the walls of the Anglo-Norman town. Neither town could be called a successful plantation, for in the early years they failed to attract English settlers. Philipstown, though benefiting from its position alongside the Grand Canal, built 200 years later, is still only a small place, and was replaced as the county town of Offaly by Tullamore, itself an 18th century town laid out by the Berry family in 1833. Maryborough, or Portlaoise, has enjoyed better prosperity as an important inland route centre, where the Limerick to Dublin and Cork to Dublin roads converge, and of course it has the prison to give it a certain notoriety. The great Earl laid out Bandon in 1608, complete with walls, the line of which can still be traced, though the actual walls were demolished at the end of the 17th century. Like New Ross, Irish Town is just outside the walls, a sure indication from a map alone that a town is an English plantation. Other towns followed, including Clonakilty, laid out in 1614 at the head of a tidal inlet. The greatest of the plantation towns is Belfast, founded by Sir Arthur Chichester and very quickly outstripping its older rival, the port of Carrickfergus, due to its position at the mouth of the Lagan Valley, the lowland corridor to the heart of Ulster. Today, Belfast and its suburbs have a population of 500,000, and the traces of the early plantation town have long since been swallowed in the growth of this huge industrial city. Londonderry, to give it its full name, to stress its connections with the London companies, is also a success. As we've seen, the old town still survives within the modern city. Indeed, Derry is one of the finest examples of a walled town in Europe. Let's hope that the planners can safeguard this old town for posterity and continue to show off its splendid situation better by making a green belt around the walls. Other towns are flourishing small towns of the plantation: Coleraine, now University Town, Dungannon, Strabane and Ballyshannon, to name but a few.